Hi everyone, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for visiting with me today. Today we are going to talk about Sebastian Rogers. He's been missing for a month now, and I just want to go over some things regarding the case, regarding, the situation, and see if I could get answers from you guys, because I've probably missed a lot of stuff, because the whole time I'm trying to speak on him, I'm speaking on other people too. So I'm trying to keep all my notebooks and all my notes organized. So there may be some facts or some things I've missed. And quite frankly, I'm just not watching 3-hour live stream replays. I'm just not going to do it. I need more condensed information. And I know you might be thinking, oh, well, if you're going to talk about things like this, you need to watch those 3-hour live streams. No, I do not. No, I do not. And I'm not going to. I'm just not going to. What you can say in 3 hours, you can say in 30 minutes, in my opinion. Hi, kitty. So I'm going to refer to my notes a lot because I do have quite a bit of them. Do I? Not as many as I thought I did, but, I do have notes on them. And I know there is a lot more about this case than what I'm getting ready to share right now. But we will be talking about him again. So Sebastian Rogers, a 15-year-old boy in Tennessee with autism, and he's believed to have wandered off in the middle of the night with a flashlight, barefoot, and alone. He was last seen on February 25th, 2024 by his mother. Now, there was a little confusion before because it was by his mother. At first, I was told it was by his mother and stepfather, but apparently his stepfather wasn't in town. And when his mother went to wake him up the next morning, he was gone, and she called her husband, who was working in Memphis on the St. Jude construction project, to tell him she can't find Sebastian anywhere. And then the stepfather is the one who called 911. Sure. Hi, Brian. Hi, Brian. I'm sorry, I've got animals who want attention right now also. So on Monday, February 26th, an endangered child alert was issued. At approximate, that is not the same thing as an Amber Alert. It's not quite risen to the level of endangerment an Amber Alert is. But so on Monday, February 26th, an endangered child alert was issued at approximately 11:17 a.m. by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, or TBI, on behalf of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. Jesus Christ, Brian. In the alert, it stated Sebastian was last seen earlier that day near Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. He was wearing a black sweatshirt and sweatpants and his glasses. And I was trying to find more information about this, where it said he was seen earlier that day. I'm sorry, my cat is acting crazy. But because it said he was seen, the report I read said he was seen earlier that day. By who? What were the conditions in which he was seen? I was trying to find out more information about that and couldn't. So if you know who saw him earlier the day his mom said he went missing, I'd like to know more about that. But he was wearing a black sweatshirt and sweatpants and his glasses. And again, apparently no shoes. Sumner County Emergency Management Agency dispatched over 200 people to search for Sebastian, including multiple K-9 teams, helicopter, and mounted units. On Tuesday, February 27th, an Amber Alert is issued, and the decision to issue an Amber Alert was based on additional information developed during the search. And of course, we don't get that additional information. Law enforcement does not owe any of us an explanation on how they're doing things, what they're finding. They don't owe us any explanation. So I don't expect anything out of them. I just expect them to do their job and hopefully find this child alive. So when law enforcement has reasonable belief that an abduction has taken place and the child is in imminent danger, an Amber Alert is issued. Dozens of agencies continued the search for Sebastian as of this date. And on Thursday, February 29th, a pond was drained However, nothing was found. Search and rescue dogs had not been able to pick up a scent. But I find that unusual that they had not been able to pick up a scent anywhere on him. But does that include around the outside of his house? I don't know, but I don't know exactly how those dogs operate completely. On Saturday, March 2nd, a reward for information was announced thanks to a group of anonymous business owners in the area. On Monday, March 4th, the search was scaled back. Authorities announced they were scaling back the search and transitioning to an investigation. And Sebastian's mother and stepfather speak out on this day. They hadn't spoke out before, but quite frankly, they don't owe us to speak out. I mean, yeah, it could help the situation, but they don't owe us to speak out because you know what's going to happen, and it did happen. They're being blamed. Everybody's accusing them. They could be responsible. I'm not done reading this yet, though. So on Thursday, March 7th, a landfill in White Plains, Kentucky was searched. This is where trash from Sebastian's neighborhood was taken. Officials say there was no specific information that led them there. It was just precautionary. On Sunday, March 10th, Sebastian's father, Seth, told WTVF he doesn't believe Sebastian would go far without his shoes. When Sebastian was younger, he was outside without the shoes and stepped on what he thought was a mound of dirt, but it was a mound of fire ants, and they stung him really bad. So he's scared to go outside without shoes on now, shoes and socks. And that makes sense. And especially like an autistic child, you know, a lot of times with autistic children, and this has just been my experience as someone with autism and as someone who has worked with children with autism, usually it takes one time and they learn a lesson, you know, and that's just been my experience. There was also home security. Oh no, during the interview, he revealed a search dog had traced Sebastian's scent to a construction site, but there was nothing found there. There was also home security video that showed activity outside Sebastian's home on the night he vanished. The footage shows unusual activity, 2 specks of light outside the home in the Hendersonville neighborhood around 3:10 a.m. Now, people said it looks like 2 flashlights, and the lights are walking, like people who are holding the flashlights are walking closer together. But the stepdad said that it's not flashlights, but really, in the interviews I've watched with him, I don't get any clarity as to what he thinks they are if they're not flashlights. They did not look like flashlights to me, but anyway, Sumner County Sheriff's Office has told WTVF, the news outlet that obtained the footage, that there are several clips that investigators are reviewing. It's been almost a month since Sebastian was reported missing, and Sebastian's father, as well as community members, continue to search for him. Sebastian's mom and stepdad have done a lot of interviews, and there has been inconsistencies, and they have been appearing to be controversial, and people have a lot of issues with them and the answers to their questions, and that isn't unusual in cases like this, and there is a reason for that. A lot of times the stepdad is involved and often protected by the mom, and I'm not saying that they're involved. I'm not saying that's the case here, but they always have to be looked at, and they have been, and they probably are continuing to be looked at. Mom said she took a lie detector test. Stepdad hasn't. He said he offered to, but he hasn't yet. And as far as I've heard, they're not helping with the search. In fact, they've taken off in the camper, like the stepdad took off in the camper, and the mom followed him in the camper out of town. And we're going to talk more on that in a little bit. But anyway, the Proudfoots, that's his mom and stepdad, they're not helping, or they haven't helped with the search. But they've done a lot of interviews on YouTube with vloggers and such. Sebastian's father is searching nearly without ceasing. Sebastian's father wants to find him. The United Cajun Navy, who aided in the search for Riley Strain, deployed a search crew to help look for Sebastian after Seth, Sebastian's father, asked them for assistance. Now, I don't have confirmation that Seth was the one that asked for assistance, but United Cajun Navy, a representative from the United Cajun Navy said that someone representing the family asked for assistance. So it could have been Seth. Again, Seth Rogers says he doesn't believe Sebastian would leave the house without his shoes, because of the incident with the fire ants. So I don't know why I felt that necessary to bring that up again, but it was in my notes. So Sebastian's dad said in order for him to do something that's out of the normal, something would have had to happen that he felt like he just couldn't deal with it anymore. He said that in his first interview. So did something happen in that house? What happened in that house that night that made him leave? Or did someone remove him from the house? Or what happened? What upset him? If something did upset him, if he wasn't taken, where could he be? How does a 15-year-old with autism just disappear in the night with no clues? It seems odd to me. 15-year-olds aren't escape artists. They're going to, if he left, he would have put his shoes on. He probably would have brought his phone. It just seems nonsensical to me that he would bring a flashlight but not put his shoes on. Sunday evening, February 25th, a neighbor allegedly saw Sebastian take out the trash. And that was the last person other than his mom who, that saw him. His stepdad, from what I understand, was out of town working in Memphis. And that's about a little less than 3.5 hour drive, and he's been out of town most of February, but he's been back and forth visiting. But still, I don't understand if it's been verified that he's been out of town. I don't understand how people are saying he's responsible. I'm not saying he's not responsible. I mean, people are very sneaky and they can come up with a lot of cunning ways to hurt children. We've found that out over the last several years, that people will, go out of their way to hurt children. So I'm just wondering what you have seen or heard that makes you think that he's responsible. I'm not being defensive. I'm not saying he's not responsible. I just want to know. I just want to learn more about why, because I think he's suspicious. I get the willies from him. I absolutely do. But I want to know why other people think that this may be the case, that he may be responsible or knows something. I just, if you can clarify that for me, because I've read a lot of comments accusing him of being responsible for it or knowing something, but not any specific reasoning given. You know what I mean? So at around 10 p.m., Mom heard a thud in Sebastian's room, and she said she asked him, and this was on Nancy Grace. Apparently, she has added to the story. First, she said she told him to go to bed, and then went in to wake him up in the morning, and he wasn't there. Then she said she told him to go to bed and heard a noise and told him to go to bed. And now on Nancy Grace, she said she heard a thud and asked him if he fell out of the bed, and he said, "No, ma'am." And then she went to wake him up in the morning, and he wasn't there. So she keeps adding to the story about the sound she heard. And the story started with no sound at all. So anyway, according to Sebastian's mom, she heard his voice at 10 p.m. on February 25th. The Proudfoots, again, we're going to bring this up, have left their home. And on Nancy Grace, when asked, Sebastian's dad said, and I think this is a little interesting, Sebastian's stepdad said he was going back to work. Yet earlier in the interview with Nancy Grace, he said his job was up in the air. So it was up in the air during the same interview span, and then he was going back to work. So that didn't make sense to me. And I'm learning from all these cases that every little word they say matters. Sebastian's mom said she's accompanying her husband back to work and then she's coming back. I don't know. It sounds strange to me. How are you going to leave while there is an active search going on for your missing 15-year-old child with autism? And then she's like, well, he could be anywhere. And so we're looking anywhere and everywhere for him. It doesn't seem like you were before. So you think he's in Memphis or on his way to Memphis? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. And again, I'm not trying to blame her or the stepdad, but I want to know. It's weird. Okay? They're being weird. And I understand. She could have just said, we're being harassed by people. We're being threatened by people. People are harassing us. That's why we left. That would have been a valid reason, and we could have ended it there. But you know, Nancy Grace didn't let them go. But I don't understand why you'd be away from the home you lived in with your missing child when there is a search for him ongoing. It doesn't make sense to me. Because I'm going to put myself in her shoes for just a second. If I go off somewhere and he's found and I'm not there when he's found, I am going to feel guilty for the rest of my life, you know? Nancy Grace also brought up when Mr. Proudfoot hit Sebastian with a belt. Mom tries to answer by saying that was actually several years ago, but Nancy Grace cut her off. She wants the stepdad to answer. And stepdad said he gave him one swat with the belt, and he said it was the first and only time he ever hit him. But I know that's not true because he said he hit him on another occasion too in a different interview. And he may have said it even more than once in that interview because it was 3 hours long. And I'm sorry to that YouTuber. I just can't do it for 3 hours. I can't. So he's lying about that. And there was the CPS involvement. And I think he's lying about that too. Because CPS was called at least one time when he struck Sebastian. That was my understanding. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Kindly. You don't have to be in my comments being rude. Correct me if I'm misunderstanding this. She also asked about other CPS calls against him, and he said it's all misunderstandings and misinformation. Of course it is. So I'm noticing in hundreds and hundreds of comments I've read on many other videos, because I go to the comments, because sometimes the comments can be very enlightening. But in several videos about Sebastian that are blaming the mom and stepdad, which is the automatic go-to. So I want to understand, is this just the reaction people are having because they think it's the one they're supposed to have? Or are there very specific reasons why they are suspecting mom and stepdad? No tea, no shade, no hate against anybody. I just want to know more about why we should be looking closer at them. We definitely should be. No one should be off the hook yet. I just think it's weird that they take off and go out of town in the midst of a search for her missing 15-year-old. That is highly, highly disturbing and upsetting to me. I can't imagine ever doing something so, in my opinion, careless. No one should be threatening or harassing these people. Honestly, if you're doing that, you're a loser. You really are. You have no business doing that. Leave them alone. Again, the cops don't have to tell us everything they're investigating. They may have a close eye on these people. And believe me, if we think it's suspicious that they left in the camper and in the car, just left town, the cops think it's weird too. Okay? So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that right now. We'll certainly be talking about Sebastian more. Definitely going to be talking more about the Madeline Soto case because that one's got me. I'm just upset about all of this stuff that's happening lately. But anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Well, not enjoyed this video. Who enjoys a video about a missing child? But again, I made this video because I want information too. Leave me information in the comments. If you have articles or videos you want me to see, you cannot leave links in my comments. I have the settings to where I can't receive links because I was getting a lot of Asian spam when I first started my YouTube channel who were leaving links like, come make love to me, stranger, you know, things like that. So I just made it to where links couldn't be put in my comments. So if you have links to articles or to videos you want me to see, you may email them to me. My email is in every about section, or almost every about section. It's cuttingdawn333@gmail.com. That's CUTTINGDAWN333@gmail.com. And I will try to remember to put it in the about section. So, yeah, so again, if you have articles you want me to read, if you have information you want to share with me, you know, just your thoughts, theories, and ideas, or, you know, any kind of YouTube videos or any links you want to share with me, please don't send me dangerous links. But I won't go to anything fishy looking anyway. Just, you can email that to me. Again, you can't email, you can leave channel names in the comments if you want me to go check out someone's channel. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.